Well. You clicked on this video, and that means one of two things. One, you like seeing someone apologize. Two, you like seeing me apologize. Either way, someone's apologizing, and it's me. Way back when, my Season 2 review for Zone Zero, I said Seed was weird, I didn't like Seed. And a lot of people said, play the Agent Quest. So I went ahead and did that. In fact, here's me before I played the quest. Hey, yo, what's good? I'm recording this in the future, well, in the past for the future, before I played Seed's story, because I want to let you know what I'm expecting from this. Now, in the Season 2 review, I was a little bit critical about Seed. I was like, she just kind of forced Weird Girl into the story. Got some comments saying, she's much more than that, play the Agent story. And I've kind of been putting these off because my main focus was getting caught up with the main story. But now I can focus and dedicate some time to the Agent. What I'm expecting from this is more of the same. I'm kind of got my expectations pretty low because, on one hand, yes, I understand that she's a child soldier. But also, the weirdness still felt kind of weird without any of that prior knowledge or understanding of the character. But let's see if my opinion changes and get caught with the rest of the review. So I guess I'll see you in the future. So, as you can see, I had some expectations and I went into it, and what's going to follow is going to be the review. And hopefully you stick around. I really enjoyed it, I will say. This whole thing has made me appreciate ZZZ a little bit more. And when I give a judgment now, maybe not be too hasty. So with that, I hope you enjoyed the review, and I hope to see you in the next one. Remember to 1,000 subs, like, comment, subscribe, all that classic YouTube stuff. And yeah, enjoy. Okay, hey, what's good? We've just finished Seed's Agent story, and by we, I mean me, because I thought I'd do it offline and then give you a review this way, so hopefully that's fine. I'm gonna be honest, this is an appropriate time to be like, yeah, I apologize. I was wrong, you guys were right. Oh my god, this got me. I did get teary-eyed at the end, which, obviously big spoiler warnings approaching, but here's why. So I'll admit, when I started this, I didn't think I would feel emotional, and yet here we are. A little teary-eyed, if you could probably guess. Damn, that came out fucking nowhere. Holy shit. No wonder everyone was like, hey, you should probably play this. I get it now. Oh my god. Damn, I feel kind of like a dick for calling her weird now. So, needless to say, my opinion of Seed has in fact changed. I still think she's weird, don't get me wrong, but I understand the weirdness. And it makes sense why other comments were like, oh, there's a reason she's like that, but it's explained in the Agent Quest. And that leads me to the notes I've taken. So we've taken notes for all parts 1, 2, and 3. I said here, the main story quest should tell you to play the Agent Quests. They did this in, I believe, 1.4 with, I believe it was Trigger and Soldier Zero. I want to say, especially Soldier Zero. But I understand why it wasn't here, because it doesn't necessarily pertain to this main story quest. It was more so, get to know Seed, build that relationship. But no, let's go through the points. I'm not going to try, I was thinking we do it one by one, but then we'll be here for like 40 minutes, and honestly, you don't want to sit through 40 minutes of me rambling. I don't want to edit 40 minutes of me rambling, so here we are. So, one of the big themes I've really enjoyed about this, all parts really, was Obel Squad. I still think Obel Squad is the highlight of Season 2 so far, and this just really cemented that. The fact you can see how much they all care for one another. I've got here, like, seeing Celia died, that's the big shock. It's like, oh, hey, by the way, here's what it's going to be about. There's no teasing, no drip feeding, being like, oh, I wonder what this could be about, what's it going to be, and then 30 minutes in, it's like, oh, this was like 3 minutes in. Like, seeing Celia's dead, we're keeping a secret from Seed, let's, keep up that facade. We learned she got a safe house in Hollow Zero, and it made me going here, for example, social anxiety for Seed. Let's just be honest, she's autistic. You know it, I know it, and if you're also autistic like me and other people, you can probably see the signs. Come on, we have like a special connection there. And also, the safe house looks really cozy, actually. Like, really cozy. Also learned she's a hoarder, maybe, and she's crap at gardening, but more on that later. I think this is really important. The childlike way of thinking, she uses phrases and terms and language that makes sense to her. But it really felt like nobody outside of Obel Squad really made an attempt to understand what we're talking about. And you learn about that with interactions through NPCs like Veronica, and more on her later. I also think that she's more perceptive than she initially appears, especially in the 2.3. Is it 2.3? No, 2.2 I want to say. Where we first meet her and she looks at the eyes and she's like, she knows we have the ocular implants. And this here as well. Obel Squad are underestimating how smart she is. And I'm pretty sure there's a scene here, and they're talking about how, oh, we didn't realise, because she's a mechanical genius. But everyone keeps forgetting that. It's like, let's keep a bit of a facade. An intelligent construct is still alive around a mechanical genius who spends all her time with the mechanical construct. Or intelligent construct. You can kind of see why I'm a bit like, that's not really a smart idea, is it? And that's what leads into this more perceptive than she initially appears. This as well, the lengths are going to keep up this facade. Goes to show how much they care about Seed. They don't want to hurt Seed. And I'm going to be honest, I have a really... My take on this is, and this is what pissed me off about this. They're not putting a lot of faith in Seed. Because they feel like, okay, maybe Seed can't handle this. But, yeah, she can. Which we're going to get into later on. So, Seed is a code name. I thought this is a really cool potential kind of mystery there. Being like, Seed Senior. Seed Intelligent Construct. So, he's passed the name on to Seed because of the operative. And it still might be. We don't know. I just think it was really cool. And it was like, okay, this might be where we go from here. When she ate flowers... Autistic gardening, that was just a nice little joke for me. Yeah, she's also really scary, so remind me not to piss her off. Now, part 1, we had this whole... We go into the Hollow to rescue people with a mission on Veronica. And she can't understand people's pain, and possibly emotions, because she's been stunted, for lack of better terms. And when we learn why, it makes sense. And like, she unintentionally makes the situation worse. This was a big one. And I was thinking to myself, why has she done that? And then just that's when it all kind of clicked together. It's like, oh, okay, I get it now. It's because she doesn't interact with people outside of Obel Squad more often than not, and they're used to how she does things, and she's comfortable with them. Once again, leading into the whole, she doesn't know how to interact with people because they don't know how to interact with her, and they don't have the time and patience and knowledge to learn how to interact with her, basically. But Obel Squad have, because they're a squad, the teammates, and once again, goes to the whole, shows you how much they care about each other. This was also really nice. The way she talks is starting to make sense. Talking about, oh, nitro fuel, and it's like, what's nitro fuel? Oh, it's a person. And she kind of explains it, and more so later on. It's nice getting an insight what you don't get in the main story quest, because in the main story quest I was like, this is really weird. Why is she, what does that even mean? Whereas now, you get like, oh, that's what she means. Okay, makes more sense. But yeah, this here, everyone's starting to treat her like a burden instead of a purpose. We're treating her like, okay, we know that she can't handle this, so we're going to hide it from her. And as much as I say, okay, it's nice to show how much you care about them, and like you want to treat them with love and kindness. Well, the fact they went out of their way to hide such a big secret from Seed, thinking that she can't handle it, it just goes to show like a lack of faith, and like it's looked like a burden. Like, because we all know what it's like, right? Growing up and you're being like, nobody really understands me. That's what I got from Seed going there. And it must suck being like, okay, these people really get me. And then you hear from behind the scenes going, we have no idea what Seed's on about. Like that kind of thing. At least that's my interpretation of it. You can all feel free to disagree, agree. That's why it's nice having these kind of debates. Now, part 2. Part 1 was a little bit of a to me. It was like, that's whatever. Part 2 is where shit gets good. And here's why it gets good. It's very background story heavy. And maybe heavy is the wrong word. Maybe it's just very background story. That doesn't really make sense. Because we learn, it kicks off with us learning about Seed and Seed and those interactions, or how she doesn't want to grow up, because that way Seed Senior can still be around. She's formed that emotional connection with Senior. Seed Senior wanted to use himself as motivation for Seed to grow stronger. This I kind of get, but also I didn't like this purely because, well, I say that in hindsight, he couldn't have known how obsessive Seed could have possibly been. Like, and this would lead her to go, okay, if I get stronger, he'll come back. And that's the whole catalyst of, like, it's just her being obsessive and nobody really, everybody kind of underestimating how obsessive and, like, hard-headed she is, because she knows what she wants to do. She's going to do it. Nothing's going to stop her. And nobody seems to realize that if you're just open and honest and talk to Seed, maybe it's better. Maybe it's better to be like, okay, maybe we can help you rather than her going headlong into these things. And once again, it just, this whole thing boils down to, as much as they love and care about Seed, they have zero faith in Seed. And it really irritated me. It really did. Until the end. The end kind of brought it back when they kind of realized, oh, here's the error of our ways. Yes, I know I'm skipping ahead, but that's just really important. I don't want you to think, oh, he hates this. I don't. I loved it. It's just, I got frustrated, and that's why it's such a good story. Because it's making me feel these ways. Oh, these feelings. There we go. Alright, back to this. This was really fucking cool. We see the backstory here, or the little cutscene of Seed Senior. He got the terminal illness because he disobeyed his core commands, which I believe got written down later on. It was the logic command. Oh, that was him. Self-defense system, Iron Order installed on Logic Core, which plays a part later on. I guess it kind of plays a part. It's nice exposition, but it doesn't really pay that big ahead. You can kind of tell, like, okay, he's an intelligent construct, he has a core directive, he's got against it. That does kind of make sense. This was still, it's still not really answered. I mean, it is in part 3, but we'll get to that. But why was she designated the dangerous threat in the Hollow? Now, we learned in part 3 it's because of Helios Academy, where Bell and Wise were from. That's why, you know, one of my kind of bones of that, that's why that makes sense. But right here, it's even the last point here, just what is Seed's power? It's not explained, it's just, okay, the robots are going to blow up. Or the robots have caught on fire. How does Seed proc that? It just, for all the good it did, that's like one mystery where I'm just kind of like, maybe, hopefully we get that in the future. Maybe another story, or it plays a part further down the line in Season 2. Anyway, we've jumped ahead a little bit. They refuse to let her grow emotionally. The threat of her powers going wild makes sense as a child. But as she's gotten older, she's got a better handle of the powers. And this bugged me, because they still treated her with such childlike intentions. And I'm thinking to myself, surely you can recognize that she's gotten better with it, so she can be trusted more. Just because someone talks weird doesn't mean they're any different. I mean, in some cases they can be different, but not everybody, and especially not Seed. And it really bugged me. Because this whole time they're going, we need to protect Seed. And I'm pretty sure Seed at this point, and it's referenced numerous times, sure, you've gotten stronger physically. This was okay, so you know she can handle her powers. You know that, let me rephrase this in a way that might not seem like I'm hating too much. They acknowledge that Seed has gotten stronger physically, but emotionally and mentally, they just neglect that completely to go, look, Seed, we know you're stronger physically, because that's the first thing you notice. Seed is a powerhouse. Never failed a mission, always following commands, and it's just, that's all anyone focuses on. And I'm thinking to myself, take the time to actually talk to Seed for like 2 minutes, and then, you know, maybe then you can kind of see, and sure, that happens, but Veronica goes in with a mindset, and this happens to a lot of characters, I'm pretty sure, not just in ZZZ, but in general, and in life as well. You go in with a pre-designated mindset. So you go in, you talk to this character, you go, okay, I know that they're going to be difficult to talk to, so I'm going to be difficult to talk to right back, because I'm not going to take the time to even attempt to understand it. And that's exactly what Veronica does. She's just like, oh, you're causing me more pain. Rather than explaining why she's doing that, she just goes, Seed, get out, I can't work with you anymore. You're a danger. Tell her fucking why she's a danger. Like, it's it's not difficult. In communication, this whole thing really felt like communication breakdown. It's just be open and honest. Avoid all this shit. And we get that at the end with at the end of season 2, where she said to whilst harsh, Veronica telling Seed about Seed soon was a good move. Because it was. Finally, Seed learns the truth, and that's the catalyst she needs to grow. Emotionally and... I guess just emotionally. Mentally, she's already kind of still there. It's just a bit kooky and weird, but to be honest, who isn't? Like, look at Magus. I'm just thinking to myself, damn. This should have been done way, way earlier. But I'm glad it happened now. I really am glad it happened now. We jumped ahead a bit. Veronica wants to make a nude Seed senior. I thought that was going to happen. No, she just wanted to save intelligent constructs. That was it. The strength she needs isn't physical, but mental and emotional strength. And honestly, at that point, maybe just emotional strength. Because mentally, I still think, yeah, she was there in the end. She was able to prove that she can handle it in part 3. I believe I've missed something else here. That was it. The relationship between the squad members is really endearing. Maybe just getting angry at Seed as an example. Yeah, this was... I'm gonna be like I said, Obel Squad probably the best part of season 2. Just Magus, Orphe, Trigger, just all the characters were so good. So stripping intelligent constructs free will from them to turn them into weapons somehow parallels Seed's story. Now I put here requires more thoughts, and the reason for that, and I've thought about this, I think. So give me a second to kind of attempt to cook. So what I got from the story was the defense force or the military see these broken down constructs with broken logic cores. I don't want to reuse the assets. Which on one hand makes sense, you know, they're probably valuable but still functional. You can get use out of them. But they're not going to be the same constructs they were. It's going to be a brand new entity entirely. Same name, same voice, same personality, but they're not going to be the same. And that was Veronica's whole thing of like, I want to stop that. These are the people I've cared for. People. We talk about like rights and whatnot, but we're not going to get into that. That's a whole other topic. And I said parallel Seed's story. Because it feels like her free will was stripped when Seed Senior said, grow stronger. So her whole thing is, I'm going to grow stronger no matter what. And it just felt... Well, how do I want to phrase this? It felt in a way where, hopefully you can see where I'm coming from here, where without free will, they're just going on this predetermined path where they can't veer from. And Seed's whole thing was, I'm going to go down this one path. I'm going to get stronger no matter what. And all the choices she makes is to become stronger. In fact, there's a scene here where she goes a bit AWOL. But she takes a mission solo, that's a team mission. I think to myself, once again, there's no free will there. I mean, sure, she may have used free will to go to that mission. But at the end of the day, it's like, was it really a choice? Or was it a predetermined outcome because of a mindset she's basically adopted? It's a nice thought-provoking thing, and I'd like to discuss it, boy. It's really fun to think about. I'm just thinking to myself, I don't think there's a wrong answer. And that's what I think makes the story really good. Okay, moving on. Learning this here, because Seed doesn't have the emotional maturity to realize this yet, I thought it was good, and that kind of led to the outburst. And also, if you speak in ways Seed understands, it's easy to communicate with her. Once again, mirroring the autism right here. If you learn to communicate with Seed in a way Seed understands, you can have a conversation with her. Look at Obel Squad. Look at the whole... That's what I really liked about the Proxies, or Wise in this case, going through the story. It was because he's taking the time to learn how she talks. And it's just so fucking nice. It's really great to see. And I think a lot of people will just kind of gloss over that, and I hope you don't. I hope you realize, oh shit, if you take the time to understand somebody, you might like them. Look at me, I didn't like Seed because I didn't take the time to understand Seed, and now, I get it now. So now the big one. Now part 3, I'll be honest, has way less notes. Because it wasn't much action-packed, there was a little bit of exploration, a little bit of combat, but other than that, nice story to wrap up. Let's go through this. So I've written down here, Seed and Veronica mirror each other really well. And I'll be honest, I have forgotten the point that I was meant to make. I forgot to make more notes because a lot of stuff was happening all at once. But I think what I thought about it was, whereas Seed goes down this one narrow mindset of, I need to become stronger so Seed Senior comes back to me. Veronica's whole thing was, I need to save these intelligent constructs so I can bring them back. That was the parallel I got there. It's like, they both have this preconceived notion or way of thinking, and they don't veer from it. And I thought it was really nice to see. And it was like the contrast between the two really added up. And it makes sense why Seed Senior says what he says about Veronica. At least it did to me, but you might disagree. Once again, and I've said this before and I'll keep saying it, it is really endearing seeing Opal Squad together. Just the way they act, the way they communicate, and just how they are, it's just so fucking nice. All the characters, I love every single one of those characters now. I really do. They were so good together, especially Magus. The fact that I like Magus this much is crazy. And here we go. You can see how much everyone cares about each other, especially Magus. Need I say more? So Soldier 11 is clutch, because she was a Seed Senior texting that's keeping the hope alive. And Soldier 11, as we find out, comes in later in on the team. I believe she was the last squad member. And they kind of kept her in the dark about Seed Senior missing. But Soldier 11 is the one to pick up that she misses Seed Senior. We also get backstory of the name Seed. Well, not backstory of like why she was called Seed, just the name Seed. I thought it was really nice, really poignant. I don't know how you say that word, I'll be honest. And I'm just thinking to myself, God, I thinking back to it now, that was such a good final scene. And I think that's what really sold me on this. Like, I was already going to be sold no matter what, but the fact they got the extra step to be like, here's what it all meant. I'm just like, whoa. Like, come on. Now, the Helios Academy explains that one of my kind is referred to as proxy. So we learn there's a name scrawled on the monument that says Helios, that was by Seed, to remember where she came from. We realize that she was from the same academy Wise and Bell were. But then we get information, or should I say, lack thereof information, that she doesn't remember anything about her past, or a lot about her past. So maybe more on that in the future. Then right at the end, we get a little teaser that Seed Senior might still be around, question mark, question mark. I thought it was kind of neat. It was just a nice little funny moment. So, at the end of it all, here's what I have to say. Overall, good fucking story. Good side quest. Didn't take that long, believe it or not. I said 3 hours, but that was because I was stopping to type notes. It was more like 2 hours, because I really had to think about this. Very thought-provoking. Yeah, so apologies about the lighting. I know it's not the best quality video, but hopefully you've stuck around long enough for me to go, yeah, I'm going to have to really stop making hasty judgments on characters. I'm going to have to wait and see how they play out. But based on the information I was given in the story quest, I stand by what I said. Now, however, I'm going to change that. I think Seed is a good character. Not my favorite. I still find her combat kind of boring. But as a character, like, gameplay-wise, not a big fan. As a character, she's growing on me. Hopefully we see more. And I do hope we see more. I hope we see more of Seed's personal growth further down the line. Both in the story and just in other agent quests. But yeah, that's kind of it. Let me know your thoughts, what you think about Seed. Like, comment, subscribe, and road to 1,000 subs. That's pretty good. Pretty exciting you could be a part of that. And yeah, just give ZZZ a chance. Honestly. Now this, I can't stress this enough. Every single time I play ZZZ now, I'm having the fucking time of my life. This is such a fun game, outside of not owning bonus. But, you know, that's going to change once you get to Ruin, finally, maybe. Also, all for your Megas. No, I'm getting sidetracked. Long story short, I'll just sum this video up as one. You were right, I was wrong. I'm not afraid to admit that. So, yeah. Anyway, take care. Let me know if there's any other agent stories you want me to play. I might review one I might do a Season 1 agent story and try and compare the two in terms of qualities. In fact, I might try and finish more agent stories because I've still got... That's the only one I've taken care of. I've still got all of these, like Lucia, Burnus, hopefully. Just for some of you out there, lighters. I'm very excited to try Harry Masters. This one might be next, just because I'm interested in the story and especially seeing this. But yeah, no, that's really it. End of the video. See you in the next one. Peace.